Fantastic. Hello, everybody. Good evening, dreamers. Wonderful people who are out there. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you all on this lovely Thursday evening. Yeah, for that, right? I've had enough of the music. Wow, I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for the stream tonight, but I'm present, so that's good. I hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's in a good spirit. On a good spirit, I should say. Drinking a good spirit, preferably. And is ready for a roller coaster ride of horror and scariness. Scariness? Maybe. We'll see. Who we got? Who we got in the chat? We got Cade, Sayaka, Dame, Dr. Odd, Camigio, Argon, the heroes and the heroines of dreams. And they're congregated here to watch a bunch of nonsense unfold, I'm sure. Yeah, man, I'm like, I don't know, man. I need to get my head into it. I've got alcohol to see me through. I've got a cup of tea to also see me through. That's good, isn't it? How wholesome and British. A cup of tea. Excellent. I don't really have a lot of witty remarks to add in this point in the stream, so I might as well introduce everybody to what we're going to be doing this evening. And that is, we are going to be looking at this. What the fuck is going on with that? We're going to be looking at this itch.io horror games. And we're going to be playing our way through some of the more recent submissions to the itch.io horror games archive in all their wonder. And don't they just look beautiful? Don't they look beautiful? We got BBRMS Insane School. Did you know that you can buy Baldi's Basics toys for like children? They're in the toy shops next to the Five Nights at Freddy's toys. Why would you buy a Five Nights at Freddy's toy for your child? Maybe it's in universe. Maybe Five Nights at Freddy's is based on a true story. I don't know. I'm not into the mythos of Five Nights at Freddy's. It's got something to do with pizza, hasn't it? We got some game. I mean, this looks like it could be excellent. Can't Escape Mother Madeline. Principa Interworld. Looks like it could be some RPG Maker. Asymmetric Multiplayer Project. A free template with multiplayer. That sounds horrific. It looks horrific. Looks horrible. Expansion Mortal. Probably better we don't think too hard about that one. Or maybe we should. Maybe we should. Who knows? We could reach any of these games this evening. That's the beauty of it. So we'll play them for a little bit and we'll see if they're any good. To make it a little bit more interesting for all of you at home, we have some drinking conditions suggested by our studio audience. If we if one of the games meets these tropes, or just sort of general cliches of itch.io horror games, then we have to take a drink of alcohol. What we have before us tonight, I am not sure about this at all. Any reason you play horror games specifically? Why not? Isn't Yuminiki a horror game? That'll get them talking. That's a conversation piece there. Isn't Yuminiki a walking simulator? That as well. That set conversation will be busy on that for the next 2 hours. So in front of me this evening, I have gin liqueur, but it's not just any gin liqueur. It's Parma Violet gin liqueur, which I don't know how many people in the chat might even know what Parma Violets are. You might do. I don't know. I have had the pleasure of taking the cork off of this already, and holy shit, it smells like a car tire. It doesn't smell pleasant at all. It smells horrific. So if we meet some of these drinking conditions, which I'll put on the screen for you to look at here and enjoy and appreciate, we have to take a shot of the Parma Violet gin, which I've not tried yet. I'm not sure I'm looking forward to it. You don't have to wait too long before we get into that stuff. So what have we got here? We got only walking speed is very slow, so they're suggested by Fairy Slash. Key Hunt, suggested by Tomato Kun. Generic Sprite made game. I can't even talk properly. By Ashton. Clearly store-bought asset suggested by Coconut Bun. Game has VR support by Dr. Odd. Reference to a popular horror/mystery series by prefers to remain anonymous. Booby by Coconut Bun again. World has an N/you can clip or fall out of bounds suggested by Brood, and bullshit traps by Pure. That's our conditions. That's what we have to drink to. There's some other fun rules that we might come across, but it depends. Things have to go really bad for us to get into that sort of state. So let's hope they do. That'd be good fun, wouldn't it? So that's it. That's about some of it. So should we dive in? I think we should dive in. You got the backstory. You got the cannon, the bingo cannon. So, oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it? A cannon that just fires like Yuminiki fan games at you. Banned by the Geneva Convention. So here we go. We have a little script which goes onto itch.io and pulls down horror games. So let's run it. Oh ho ho! You didn't see anything. The tunnel. Okay. Good. This is the first time we're playing itch.io in 2020, so it better be a fucking ball buster. Better be the best stream we've ever done. Okay, here we go. The tunnel. Great, great, great. This looks excellent. The tunnel. The tunnel. Lots of comments on it. It's not released a day ago. Fucking what has happened here? Is there more people getting on the bingo bandwagon? Are these cheeky shits fucking stealing my thunder? God damn it! I don't have that much thunder. It's more like a spark. You know those plasma balls, and you put your finger on it, it just sort of fizzles a little bit. It's like that. That's the bingo spark, and these guys are trying to extinguish it with their YouTube clout. Fucking dickheads. What do the instructions say? Something about use a RAR program to unrar the RAR. RAR. It's the raring 20s. We've passed through the zipping 10s and we're onto the raring 20s. Tunnelhorror.exe. I like the sound of it. I'd like no genre restriction personally. I went through a bunch of completely random games there once and it was fun. Everyone's a critic. Good. Tunnel horror. Bring it to me. Oh, Jesus. Okay, it's running full screen. Something's happening. It's really fucking loud. Oh my god. What the fuck has happened here? We're traveling down the tunnel, that's for sure. Hang on. Effect file not found. Thank you for playing my game. Okay, right, Cam, your fucking jet's down a second here. Okay, right. Runtime error. Yeah, okay, right. Can I play it? I want to play it in a window. What do you think about that? What if I want to play it in a window? Okay, that seems to be not on the menu. Menus are... I said RAR. RAR, as in WinRAR. RAR. I'm saying it now, RAR. RAR. Fucking RAR. Fucking get your WinRAR out. Get your WinRAR out. Okay, I guess we're playing at full screen then. Unless some of these other keys do something. Nope. Right. Okay, I guess we're playing at full screen. Good. Good. That's what I like in my video games. Full screen bobbins. Holy shit. That's a lot of video games. Game. It's called Tunnel. Tunnel. Matching executable. God, it's huge. Great Scott, it's humongous. Huge mongoose. There we go. That looks sufficiently horrendous. Excellent. Well done, everyone involved. And you at home. Well done, you. No, that's incorrect. Let's look at this now. It's the page that describes the tunnel. It says, this is my first game. It's not much, but it's a start. How modest. I made this with Game Guru. I think we played a Game Guru game before, and we didn't. I tell you what, Mr. Game Guru, he's not the Game Guru. He's more like, he's not even the guru. He's not even a game. He's just like, it's just there. It's an application. It's like application expert, not guru. Maybe application intermediate. I'm currently practicing my game development capabilities. All you have to do is walk down the tunnel. I like a game with easy objectives. I'm pretty bad at video games. Oh. Uh-oh. Something's happening. Install instructions. Open the RAR file using any RAR program you have. Grab a RAR file. Oh, the game closed itself down. I guess I played it for too long. I played too much video games. Silly me. Silly me. Open the RAR file. Yeah, we got that. But currently I have no way to prevent the game crashing or being detected as a virus. Ah, the tunnel of viruses. It's got 3 out of 5 stars. Sorry, Sayaka. Has the tag horror. Sorry. Yep. Means that it's going to be horrific. Yep. Play any game on which. Yeah. Right, let's play it. Okay, good. It shut itself down. That means that you guys can see it boot up in all its glory. Tunnel horror. Go. Here he comes. Good. Right. Okay, it's gone massive again. Well done, game. Well done. Why is... what? We went through this. Go small. Go there. There you go. Right, good. This is what tunnel horror looks like. They weren't lying about the tunnel. It says, thanks for playing my first game. Thank you for playing my first game. I know the tunnel is long, just keep walking through it. There is an end to it. I wish the Yuminiki developer, or the Yumitsuki developers would tell you things like that. This game was made about in a week, and is mainly to test how capable I am of developing. Thank you for giving me and my virus a chance. I mean game a chance, okay. Let's do it. Apparently we can save our game, that's exciting. Before we go into that though, I think we should try this Parma Violet Gin. What do you think? Oh my god. It's horrible. It's neon purple. I'm not sure what I was expecting really, but I wasn't quite expecting it to be quite as purple as that. It's like purple. Oh my god. What smell? Oh god, the smell! Oh. Oh. Oh, it's giving me the boke. Here we go, cheers. Okay. We are in horror, everyone. Welcome to In Horror. Hang on a moment. Well, you can enjoy the horror for a moment. I'm just gonna... I'll be over here, not horroring. I'm harrowing, not horrowing. Can you fuck off for just 1 second? There you go. Let's look at that. Right, okay, we're in the horror. Looks like I'll need to traverse this tunnel to get home. Looks like I'll need to traverse this tunnel to get home. How did you get in here? Okay, we got a flashlight. We got any weapons? Pistol, maybe? Okay, we could crouch. Okay. Good. Bit of texture stretching going on there. Okay. I'm feeling spooked, guys. We're in the tunnel. I gotta say that Palm Violet gin liqueur, I can still taste it. It's not a nice taste at all. So there's like a light. It looks like there's a light up ahead, but I think that's just the way the light is playing on the environment. This is an average commute for a Londoner. You get to sit in a tunnel for about 5 hours. And there's some screaming. I'm glad that the environment's not so dark that we need the flashlight. I think that would make this wholly unpleasant. Adds a bit of visual flair, if you will. There's a weird sort of stretching effect when you look up and down. It's a bit like software doomed source ports. What's this? It's the guy from Fade to Black. Oh no, it's not. What the hell? What the hell indeed? Alas, poor asset. Yeah? I can't make out if this guy looks terrifying or like badass. Like an undead biker who like plays bass guitar. Cool. But scary. There is no escape. Well, there will be if you stay in there, mate. Oh. I saw a red light there. Was it you? Was it you, Zombo? Apparently there's no escape. Yeah. Just in case we didn't get it the first time. Whoa, there he is. Well, what do we do now? We would be spooked. Maybe we scared the zombie off. Maybe it's like a reverse horror game. It's like, alright. I'm sorry, I'm just looking for where I parked my motorcycle. Can I attack? No. No, I can't attack. I can attack with light. But it seemed ineffective. I get the feeling there's going to be nothing down here. I think this game, we've probably seen just about everything this game has to offer. I didn't see another door. I'm sure going down here is going to make for a riveting experience though. Go back to the start, says Argon. You got it, Captain. I'm going. I'm fucking going, mate. I'm going as fast as my wee legs will carry me. Maybe there'll be a super shotgun. We're already over halfway through January. Who's in charge of that? Who's in charge of that bullshit? Ah, it's the exit! Hooray! We're safe. Zombie's not gonna get us. And looks like we'll need to traverse the tunnel. Right, where is this bastard? Let's go fucking give him a hug. Terrifying indeed, Dame. Terrifyingly terrifying. Words cannot do justice. It's just too scary. No VR support though. Hope somebody's keeping an eye on the conditions. Oh, we can jump. We can't actually move up and down, but we can make a fun sound. It's a bit like jumping. I suppose it could be something else. Maybe he's got like a small weapon. Nothing to be ashamed of, but... And that's the sound of whipping it. Or maybe it's like a pocketbook. Or... maybe it's just a rustly pocket. I'll tell you what, that zombie's either stuck or is not moving very quickly. He's probably found the exit actually and he's like, oh fuck you, stupid idiot. I know the way out. Should have followed me. Oh no. Apparently he was just admiring the skull for a little while. Right, Dr. Odd reckons there's another door here. I think Dr. Odd's full of shit. What do you think about that? That even says there, Dr. Odd, there is no escape. Why would it say that if there was escape, eh? Do you think the game developer's gonna lie to us? He's gonna say there's no escape when actually there is escape. This is what happens. This is how games work, you know. You gotta read the text and you gotta follow the instructions. When it says there is no escape, it means there is no escape. Zombie. Can I get through, please? I want to escape, if that's alright. There you go, thanks. Okay. Maybe we need to... That's a veiny skull. Look at that, gross. What I wouldn't give for a super shotgun. We have fallen victim to the monster in tunnel. The monster in tunnel. Did we get a drinking condition? Is that what people are saying? Maybe we did. We got roared by the zombie. I think we should load the game. Can we save our game? I would have saved so much time. We should have saved a game. Oh look, we've got graphic settings. Oh wow, you put it to that highest setting and apparently, whoa, now we're talking. Quake 3 fucking MLG level. There we go. This is gonna make this better. Let's go. Whoa. Oh, help me. Oh my god. Oh, that's awful. Oh my god. Oh, I did too much LSD. And now I have to run down this dark tunnel. I gotta find my bicycle. I gotta hope no spooky zombies have found it. Bicycle. You seem to run slower. That might be on account of the wacky FOV. Oh, that's awful, isn't it? That is awful. Oh. Oh my god. That Palmer Violet gin hits hard. Jesus Christ. Oh, now I'm spooked. Now I'm fucking spooked. Save the game. We were ready to save the game. Here we go. Save the game. I saved the game. Now we're safe. Come have your best shot now, Zombo. Zombutt. That is truly terrifying, that effect right there. That is awful. I don't like that at all. I'm glad we managed to find something to amuse ourselves, changing the fucking FOV up to ridiculous level. So we can see in all 6 dimensions. Yeah? I can see through the wall. What do you think about that, zombie? I can see you there. I can see you through the wall. Whoa. Whee. Right, okay, good. Wow. It occurs to me that we haven't actually tried clicking the mouse on him. Maybe we can hit him. Maybe we're missing a trick here. Oh jeez. You know, I don't know if I can be bothered actually. There has to be an attack button. Yeah, alright, we're gonna have to figure it out, right? Well, at least with the FOV really high, you kind of get the illusion of progress. So let's do that some more. It feels like you run faster even though you don't. Classic speedrunner technique. Put your FOV up to the maximum. You actually do go faster. No, you don't. More tips like this. Stay tuned. Worst speedrunner trip tips 2020. Good thing we saved. Uh-huh. Uh-oh. I mean, we can crouch. Get out of here. Well, it looks like there's escape through there, mate. If only you could no-clip. Have we got a console, maybe? No. Well, just from looking through the wall, it doesn't look like there's any more of this game, really. I think this is it. Even if the combat with the zombie is absolutely mind-blowing, somehow, I doubt it will be. We're throwing shurikens at him. He'll never catch us now. Oh well. Reduce your FOV for the fight, otherwise you won't be able to tell he hits you because of the perspective. Excellent tips there, Sayaka. Yeah, excellent tips. Also, I should be able to not fight back in any way to increase my chances of survival. Yeah. It's not really a fight so much as it is an encounter. Yeah. I think we've played enough of this game. I think we've played far more than enough of this game. Thanks. And we'll probably get a copyright strike. Well. I think that might qualify it as bullshit traps. We could sprint. I'm not going to say that only walking speed is very slow, but I do think that was a bullshit trap. Unless I'm going to look at the... Oh. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're going to look at the comments and we're going to find out. And I want you guys to enjoy the suspense of this. Is there a way to defeat the zombie? Right? Here we go. Zombie. Zombie. Zombie tunnel. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Needs more spooks. Nice start, needs more spooks. Racist. Hi there, I am a YouTuber and I hope to get some support from you guys by leaving a like and subscribe at my channel. As a first game, I think this is a pretty decent game with good horror sound effects and made with decent horror game assets as well. Some improvements that could be made, like changing the fonts of the text. Yeah. Adding puzzles. A horrifying and original monster. Look at this person's probably put about as much time into making this lovely thought out comment as the author has just shut it down by saying, I have no plans of working on this game. Puzzles sound like a great idea, but that requires very large coding capabilities. You need to have a brain like some kind of superhuman. Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. Very large coding capabilities. Stay tuned for the Tunnel 2. The Tunnel 2. Amazing game dev. I had so much fun playing it. I hope you enjoy my gameplay. Queenfaith didn't take so much time in leaving good critique. Good. Good. Good is correct. Well done you. Well done you, Protag. Well done you. I liked the bit with the zombie. Lastly, that was a great jump scare at the end of the tunnel. What do you mean that was a great jump scare at the end of the tunnel? It wasn't a jump scare. It was just an encounter that you couldn't win. What are you talking about? What? What? Yeah, whatever. Okay, good. I think that counts as bullshit traps to me. I'm gonna say that it does. I'm gonna... Oh no, that means I need to drink more of this fucking Parma Violet gin. Oh, Jesus. Right, okay, whatever. Whatever. Let's do it then. These reviews are very generous. Yeah, I like the one that said good. It can't be natural to have a drink this purple. They must have put, like, scrunched up children or something in it. Cheers to you, bullshit traps. And the rest of you. Right, good. Okay, we played a lot of the tunnel. You could say we almost travelled down a tunnel playing the tunnel. A tunnel of tunnels. We tunneled. Fudge is sounding pretty sloshed already. Yeah, fuck you. I'll fight you. I know where you drink. Right, good. We're gonna look at some more games here, which is not like this. We're going to do it like this. Here we go. Go, child. Night is long. Okay, night is. This sounds like it's gonna be. Night is excellent. Okay, let's go. The night is long. Unity game made in 2 weeks. Okay, it sounds excellent already. Lots of people have apparently played this, including Queenfaith 2020 does get around these fucking horror games. See, Sayaka? See this Queenfaith person? They seem to be getting on with the horror games. Maybe it's just you who's got higher ambitions with your any genre of games. Do you think I'm not going to let somebody called Queenfaith 2020 show me up? These are my fucking horror games. My horror games. And you're going to drink them, whether you like it or not. Good. Good is correct. I'm sure this game's going to be brilliant. It's got the seal of approval. It's got the lady Queenfaith seal of approval. Queenfaith 2020. Seal of approval. Excellent. Good. Right. Good. Let's get it downloaded then. No, I don't want to pay for it. I just want to download it. Thanks very much. I'll pay for it after I enjoy it loads, if that's alright. Well, if you like Queenfaith 2020 so much, why don't you marry her? Not sure if I'm good enough. I imagine it in the voice of Zelda, Princess Zelda from that one Zelda. Is it from that one CDI game? Good. I know the one you mean. I know exactly what you mean because I'm an arsehole like that. Right, okay. The night is long. Is the night as long as the tunnel? Maybe Night is Long is like the prequel to the tunnel. I mean, we've got the Tunnel 2 to look forward to. The Tunnel 2, where you fight the zombie. I don't know how that would work continuity-wise, since we know the protagonist of the Tunnel 1 is pretty much doomed to die in that tunnel due to slow-moving zombie and having no real objective of any kind other than to die. So, who wants to bet this tries to open up the fucking Steam VR stuff? Oh, jeez Louise, what the fuck's going on here? Night is loud. Oh good, we can play it in a window that's absolutely enormous. Let's make it small, eh? Back in your hole, game. Why is the resolution like multiple times? No, we don't want that. Oh, that's excellent. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. That right there. Give me that. Hey. There we go. There. Right, good. Let's turn it down a wee bit. It's really loud. Really loud. The game is exceedingly loud, in fact. Not hugely fond of a game that's exceedingly loud. I like my games to be, well, good for a start. Night is long. Nights and tunnels. Yeah, that's what I want. That one there. Here he goes. Here he goes. Aye. Yeah, okay, can we resize that a bit? Oh, this is a painful process. I'm not sure that is actually better. It'll do. It'll do. Right. Okay, good. It'll do. That'll do. Tunnel is long. That'll do. Right. Good. Let's have a look at the longest tunnel. The longest tunnel? The longest night, rather. Last October, I made a small horror game in 2 weeks for a game jam using Unity. The theme was jump scares theme. I visit the project again, and I am happy to release an update that few new things polish the game and improve it. Story summary. After your car stops working in the middle of nowhere, you find yourself into a strange abandoned mansion. I mean, haven't we all at one point or another? Are we able to discover all its secrets? Controls WASD. E to interact with environment. Yep. Pick up keys. Okay. We're gonna get some fucking keys. Keys. Yeah, the game's good. I mean, it can't possibly be bad. Queenfaith has given it the nod of approval. As I said though, it is just a touch on the loud side. Okay, right, good. Right. What does it look like? It looks like this. Let's go. I find it quite difficult to take a game seriously when it has things like that going on. Can we hide the cursor? Yeah, there we go. That's my car. Shit, piece of garbage. I knew I should have sold you when I had the... What is that there? Let's go check it out. What is that there? Oops. I think I skipped the cinematic. I might have pressed the A key by mistake. Whoops. On Friday night, Ryan has decided to go away for vacations. Multiple vacations? In a weekend, Ryan? Implausible. On his way, a nasty thunderstorm hit the area he was driving through. It was late at night when suddenly his car stopped working. He tried to run the engine again with no luck. Shit, now what? He thought on himself. He went out and looked around. He had no idea what to do, and he had no idea what to do, and there was nothing he could see around here either. So he did the first thing that came to his mind. Got his flashlight he had stored in the car for emergencies and head forward to a random direction to find help. Quite a convoluted set of instructions. After a few minutes of walking, he found himself in front of a mansion. It seems abandoned, he thought. He had no other choice but to head forth and check this out and wait for the storm to pass by. This is going to be a long night, dun dun dun, he thought, and continued to enter the building. He had some weird feeling with all of this, like it was no coincidence that he found himself in this situation. It was as if something or someone led him here, I should say, for some reason. He just couldn't put his finger on it yet. I can't get over this fucking loader. Oh good, we got a weapon, we got a flashlight. No, we got a flashlight, we haven't got a weapon. We can turn the flashlight on or off. It's got like funky shadows. Animated shadows. I'm gonna just quickly move that over there. Right, okay, good. Right, what's this? I said this. No, this. Oh my god, are you drunk? There's a spider. Do you see that? Spooky spider. This is the story of my life. I was once happy and I had everything I wanted. I guess nothing good lasts forever. Yeah. Well, this game has odd collisions. That's a key. I'll see. Is this a television or a microwave? Could be like a combi unit. Door is locked. Hint, find your way through the house. There's that spider again. Not really that keen on spider. It's a bit scary there. Let's go up here. Okay, let's not go up here. It's like quite a nice day out there. I can hear clocks everywhere. How many clocks have they got in this house? Oh. Let me in, I tell you. I won't have this. I'm a guest. My car is broken. I thought on myself and then I crashed my car. Spider. It's a nice picture. I'm sure I recognize it from somewhere. That's a nice picture too. Yeah. I guess there was a sale on. Maybe get a couple of them while you're at it. Buy one, get one free. We'll chuck in this free, fun picture of some hills as well. Okay. I like the shadow behavior. It's probably my favorite bit. Oh, hang on a second. That's the spooky bit right there. Look at that. Spooky floating clock. That's okay, right. We shouldn't. I think this does count as a key hunt since we are literally hunting for keys. What the flip? Listen, I've played Yume Nikki. I ain't gonna be spooked by stuff like that. Come on now. Come on. Some people in Yume Nikki would go and find events like that intentionally. You're not gonna scare me with that sort of palaver. Okay, right. What's this? Good hunting, yes. Good hunting indeed. I will have a drink in a minute. Oh, there's a spider again. We've been together for years, and when she said there was something important she has to tell me, I did not know exactly what. I did not know what exactly that could be. I waited with impatient. You waited with impatient. I usually wait for outpatient. I waited with impatient till she is back from her usual outing. You know what usual outing is? Girl slang for. That's like sex. In the evening, she came back. So, God, sorry, I can't even read this properly. It's mainly my fault. It's nothing to do with the way this is written. In the evening, she came back. We sat at the dinning room, and she informed me that soon I will be a dad. Yep, called it. I'm gonna pour the shot now because if I do it while things are happening, who knows what might happen? Something might happen. Key hunt. We've got a key and we got a hunt. We are the key hunter, dude. I'm not scared. I played Unique. Yeah, exactly. The original horror game. I'm gonna have purple insides after this. Maybe we should drink some more then. I mean, that sounds like it could be quite good fun. Imagine that for a moment. A purple tongue. A purple mouth. A purple prolapse. Cheers to you, prolapse. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, Christ, right. Okay, let's move on. Is that a key I see? Excellent. Some more pictures. That's a different one. Oh no, it's not. Look, there's a wee giraffe. Or some other animal. It's very small. Right. Okay. I'm ready for you. Give me your best shot. That's suspicious. Yeah, I don't actually love the GTA San Andreas. I like GTA San Andreas as a technological achievement, but I found the storyline and the gameplay of most of it underwhelming. To be honest, I didn't like the main character very much. I found him quite annoying. I much prefer Vice City personally. I think Vice City is of that trilogy of games, GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. I think Vice City is the best one. Is that a controversial opinion? I don't know. I didn't ask. I did ask, but I didn't want you to answer. These are some Swiss chairs. Wow, look at these chairs. That's why they've got the same picture everywhere. We saved money on the pictures so we could get the nice chairs. I am not incorrect about anything ever. There's a spider on the screen. Am I incorrect about that? No, I didn't think so. There is a spider on the screen. Oh, hang on a minute. No, actually, it's fine. Vice City's the best one. What are you talking about? The only thing that San Andreas has going for it is how big the world is, and that is quite impressive for the era. No, GTA 3 is pretty solid as well. But the thing is, I think that Rockstar matured, or Rockstar North matured as they were making the 3 games, and you can see that there is an increase in quality. Like, I mean, the storyline of Vice City is easily you actually kind of give a shit about it. I don't think I've ever been at all interested in any of the other GTA games. I mean, Nico, you want to go look at some big American? Oh, don't even fucking start. I haven't played anything after that either, so. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Argon. Right. Okay, hang on. We got plot here. Stop talking about Grand Theft. I didn't notice that. Right mouse click to clues. I think everyone's been commenting on that, and I've just been missing it because I'm a plum. A few months later, and there is, and that's how you describe your baby. A few months later, and here it is. Here it is. The spider. A small baby girl in my hands was the best thing that happens in my life. Okay, the second best thing, but still. I mean, mate, have you had chili heatwave Doritos? Mate, never mind having a baby. Get yourself down to the fucking spa. Can't wait to see what the future holds for all of us. Me, my wife, the baby, and the spider. And the ghost. Happy family. Get off of the chair. Oh, right, okay. Can we sit on the chair? No. Ridiculous. Okay, the door opens inward. It's too spooky in that room. Let's shut the door. Right, I guess we're going upstairs now, right? Oh, that's what I was seeing. It's a blade of grass that's coming through the door. No, don't get me wrong, Si. I played it to completion, San Andreas. I mean, I probably just... There's bits of it that stick out in my head as being quite annoying, but I don't get me wrong, there's a lot to it. We can agree that it was a fun game. How about that? How about that, my boy? How about that? It was a fun game. They were all fun games. Can't we all just get along and enjoy video games? This one is solid, but some of the other ones were less solid. God, how many keys have we got to find in this fucking... Is it a clock or is it somebody shagging? It sounds like it could be creaky bed springs. Sexy ghosts. Uh-oh. Bats. There's a key. That's handy. Cheeky fucking bats. How dare you smash my window? I'll smash you back. I'll smash you right in the bat's ass. Think you can get the best of me, bats? This time I'll kick your ass. Uh-oh. The worst fears came true today. As my wife, unfortunately, passed away. I was devastated by this, and I did not know what to do. At least I have my daughter, and she is the only thing I have now. I will try to be strong for her. Noble. Indeed it is noble. Spooky. Oh. I don't like that bath very much. So shut the door. I don't like it out there. San Andreas has the strongest legacy among GTA fans. Or are you still going on about that? I thought I made everyone happy. I thought I made everyone happy by saying that you're all wrong. Everyone's wrong. Even I'm wrong, right? But you're especially wrong, Si. And you keep saying it. You keep saying the wrong thing. As if it's going to make it right. But it's not. It's still wrong. Vice City, everything was nice and compressed. So everything was interesting. And it all had an aesthetic rather than just being sort of generic urban shite and sort of featureless landscapes. And Last Dance for Lance Vance. There you go. Best line in a video game ever. Ever. Even better than Half-Life. I can't believe my eyes. It is her. Finally, I will be reunited with my family once again. Yes, my love, it is me. We found each other again. Even death cannot split us. Tommy Vercetti is best MC. See, this is the truth. It's the truth. What box did we not get? What box? What box? Take the black box. What? What black box? It's not. It's a fucking paper. Can't you read? It's a paper. I know it's absorbing all light, like it's antimatter, but it's not. It's a bit of paper. How can you not see that? Even though it seems to just be absorbing all light, it's a bit of paper. It's a inverse tachyon bit of paper. Let's go over here. There's a lot of doors in this game. This bed is apparently non-corporeal. Half-Life is the most overrated game in history, and I'm ready to die. Oh man, my back. My back, you guys. It's sore. It's had a workout, that's for sure. What the fuck? I didn't expect that. That was good. I like that. I like that bit with the truck. I like the bit with the truck. Half-Life is the most overrated game in history. I could say it's the most overrated franchise, and I think you'd be onto something there, perhaps. I'd love to make a video just talking about Half-Life at some point. I don't agree with what you said, because like most of the things you say, it's wrong. But there might be like the kernel of an observation in there. You know, like a little sprout coming out of the earth. Here's another bit of paper. It says, "Yes, that's it. I will fix what's broken and fill the empty hole in my heart once again. This is what I was looking for. I must start immediately." Ominous that it's been placed in the crib, or the cot, or the cradle. There's like an odd sound there, like a heartbeat. This thing is fucking creeping me out, though. Imagine giving your child that to play with. That's terrifying. That's absolutely... It's like a dog that's been hit by a car. Yeah. Inspect the bath. Let's do it. Okay. Spooky wife and her spooky stuff. Something got my interest. A secret passage under the mansion? Curious. Where should that lead? Oh, he's got distracted from his master plan of whatever his master plan was. I don't think he explained it. I think it's something to do with his wife's ghost. He's easily occupied, this guy. He had his wife's ghost to play with, and then he found something in the baby cot, and he played with that for a while. And then he found a secret passage under the mansion, so he thought he would play with that for a while. I suppose that's what you have to do when... I mean, you should have the baby to play with, surely, right? The baby's there. The baby's there to be played with. That's what babies do. They play. I mean, your wife's dead. I know it's tragic, but I mean, you got to look after the baby, and you got to have some fun as well. Don't go playing with the underground passageway. Just calm down. Enjoy the visage of your dead wife, and play with the baby. Play with the baby. Why? Why? Tell me what? Tell me why? What did I do to deserve this? This is like musical lyrics, isn't it? What did I do to deserve this? Since you went away, I've been playing in the basement, looking for a secret passage, finding the way out. I was talking to myself as I saw my family falling sick and pass away in front of my eyes. They were both infected by some deadly virus. Why was I spared? You have natural immunity to disease. All disease. Including being hit by a truck. Right. I'm losing track of the doors that we've been in, but I'm sure we can figure it out. That is a swanky piano. Look at it. Yeah, Pet Shop Boys, yes. There you go. The baby is there to be played with. Well, isn't it? It is there. Decker Brothers. Decker. Decker Brothers. Can we play the piano? Oh look! Paper. One day my wife come back from her shopping and she didn't feel well. I told her to go lay down and she should rest. I made something to eat and drink for her. I was worried about her. The doctors didn't know what she had. There was one thing in my head that I was afraid of. I didn't want to think about. Oh, I can't move. Oh. I think I missed the spooky. Oh. Is this a mirror? I thought this was a window. But look, you can see the flashlight. Pet Shop Boys is great, man. Yeah. That's fun, wasn't it? Wow, this is a boring room. What did I just put in here? Paintings and books and shit. Wow, this is an ugly house. Look at how ugly this house is. Oh, look, a note. Here we go. Read. Something is appearing. I am scared and I don't know what to do. I hear something. What is it? Who is it? Could it be? Are my eyes deceive me? Is what I am seeing really her? I'm sure it was. Or at least a very close approximation of her. Oh, there's like a little balcony out there. That's not what that is. That's the front door. It's not a balcony. It's ridiculous, right? Okay, we've got what feels like more keys than we could reasonably carry. Because bloody hell, if this house has anything, it's locked doors. Yeah. Okay. So what now? So like a house of multiple occupancy. Every door is lockable. Ah, here we go. We did it. Right, okay. Here we go. This is it, the clue that we needed. After I solved a puzzle I found on top floor, a door opened, and that led me to a library with some weird stone. It looked like a ritual area. I started to examine the place immediately. I didn't have anything else to do anyway. Yeah, stupid baby. Or did the baby die? It didn't say that the baby died. It seems to have implied that the baby died. But, I don't know. It's only implied. His baby died? While reading the books that lie around there, I discovered something very interesting. I found something that could change everything. It was the instructions for building a perpetual motion machine. It was the instructions for building a realistic spider that could crawl around on your screen. Bed. We did that bit already. Is that a hill out there? Nice. It's just like the Yumituki. It's just like the Yumituki. We've been playing this game for a while now, and so he reckons there's a puzzle on the top floor. If you were a puzzle, If you were a puzzle... If you were a puzzle, you would probably hide it. You lost your sanity. What? Nobody said anything about a time limit. What happened there? What happened there? Why did we die? Did I run it? I guess I must have run out of time. I didn't realize there was a fucking time limit. And we couldn't save a game. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? I'll be honest, despite the fact that, I mean, if you include the time that I spent reading out the notes, we pretty much found all of the keys pretty quickly. So, I mean, the game says the night is long, right? It's not that fucking long, is it? It's apparently not fucking long enough to get around your own sodden house. Or maybe it's not this guy's house. I forget. Did we? Our car broke down, didn't it? Maybe the guy didn't live there. I don't think he did live there. No, the car broke down. That's right. The car stopped in the middle of nowhere. You remember, right? The night is long 80%. Yeah. Well done. Well fucking done. That was a blast, wasn't it? What a fucking waste of time. The night should be longer, as far as I'm concerned. We got some drinking done, though. That's good. We played for about 25 minutes. Yeah, what? I mean, you would have to have been bolting your way through that, surely. Was there some kind of timer on the screen? I don't know. Maybe I should have been paying attention to something. Maybe we should have got hit by the truck. Maybe that would have been satisfying. That's why I had the sound of all those clocks. Yeah, great. Well fucking done, everybody. We had a long, uneventful night where we saw some bats and then we died. We died. Due to time out. Time left 0, 0, 0. The night is long. Well, the night is not so long. The night is short. What do people say about this game? Really interesting. It's a tiny bit more work and it shall be perfect. Not too heavy in the jump scares, which is good. A truck in the middle of a hallway. There he is there. That's Flames Plays right there. It's like he's blowing his cheek out like he's gonna get scared. Overall, it was enjoyable. I'm glad to see you enjoyed the game. Actually, it's a train. Oh, it was a train, was it? Was it a train? Oh yeah, didn't think it was a fucking train. That was a bloody lorry. The buttons aren't working for me. Queenfaith. Amazing game. Dev had so much fun playing. I hope you enjoy my gameplay. Nice tension and storyline. I had fun. Nice work, Pretzel Studios. Nice work to you, the Game Uroso. The Gamer Urso, I should say. What a load of... We're playing itch.io horror games, everybody. Playing itch.io horror games. We're not doing so well. We're getting killed one by one. Starting with me, and then it's me again, and then it's me again. So no doubt the next game is going to feature me dying again. The glitchy game. Great. That's a Doom reference right there. That's a goddamn Doom reference right there. I know me a Doom reference. What the fuck is going on here? A glitchy game. A creepy game. Okay, I like the sound of that. Spooky game. What? What are these install instructions? Download it on your home directory and type in sudo a glitchygame.py on the terminal window. If you don't have terminal, then download it here. If that doesn't work, try python glitchygame.py in the command line. If that doesn't work, then contact me. The save files and game will work, but the other you shouldn't download. What? What? What kind of install instructions are those? Why would you run it as fucking sudo? Why would you need to run your game as a fucking root? Or speaking so, yeah, more accurately. Why would you? Doesn't make sense. Why does it say you need to run sudo and then provide a link to download a terminal, and it's the bloody Microsoft terminal? What? What? This doesn't make any sense. Platforms, Windows, Linux. I can only imagine that the person has put these instructions together, maybe having a vague idea like Windows. Yeah, I've got one of them in my house. Yeah, opens, closes. That's the only Windows I need in my house. None of this Bill Gates micro dollar sign oft shit. I'll just put some instructions on here. I'll just Google how to run Python in Windows. I'll get a link to some terminal thing and I'll put it on here. Yeah. I mean, I suppose we can try it. If there was anything here that's going to be a bloody virus, I mean, this has surely got to be it. Any game that says you need to run it as bloody super user has got to be. No, I don't want pot. I don't want that. Ah, here we go. Here we go. How to run this game without too many problems. Download the game. Download the official Python application or the Python application of your choice. You can find them on Google. Right-click the game and select Open Using. Select your Python application. Thanks very much. Okay. I can just tell this is going to be a disaster. We'll see Fudge get ransomware live. Oh, it's not even compressed. It's literally just a Python file. It's 11 kilobytes. I mean, I'm curious. How many lines of code is it? It is 334 lines of code. Ow. Yeah, the 50 terabytes of docking are a clever ruse, though, to distract from the foot archive. The foot room out of Jet Set Willy. Import pickle. Is this the first time you ran this file? Messages. I know this isn't the most exciting thing in the world, although I am trying to make sure that I'm a bit nervous about this whole thing. A glitchy game. Code cracker. Okay, right. Should we try it? Why the fuck not, right? It's Christmas after all. Let's do it. I don't know how we're going to record it. I literally do not know how we're going to record it. I don't think... I honestly wouldn't download that. I did it. Already downloaded it. Already downloaded it, mate. It's not going to work. I don't think it's going to work. How can it possibly work? What is this? Oh, that's lovely. Interesting. Interesting. Right. Go. Okay, right. Okay, it's very complicated. Okay, right. No. Let's close that down. I don't want to play with that. Even if this does work, it's not going to be interesting. I can promise you that. It's going to be like, it's text. It's going to be all cursive. Yes, put that in there. At echo There we go. Right. Okay. Good. Good. This is excellent. I honestly wouldn't download that. Are you talking about the feet thing, or the docking thing, or the Jet Set Willy thing, or the Python thing? Because I'm confident. Listen here, you. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. I've been doing this for years. I'm sorry, I know this isn't making for the most enthralling viewing, but I'm trying to figure out exactly how to do this. Nope, that's incorrect. That's correct. There we go. Beautiful. This isn't going to be a horror game at all, either. I can just tell this isn't going to be horror. This might not even be what they might call a game. But I'm ready for trying it. What? Why did that go down there? Right, okay. Let's read the description. Let's have some good fun here reading the description. Right. Bear in mind, this game's a text adventure. As far as I can see, it's going to be a text adventure. I won't download any of what you just mentioned. Well, okay. A creepy game with another player that reveals secrets to you about the game. Explore, find, friend, and conquer. That's the basic idea of the game. Still in development with no clear ending, with an I will kill you atmosphere mixed in with mystery and strange glitches. Makes it a perfect game to play in the dark. Structure. A computer that tells you what to reply to the player. But it gets harder as instructions get garbled, and eventually all of the instructions are garbled, or it just says instructions and it doesn't say anything. Sorry, I can't tell you more. You're on your own now. Happy hunting, player number 3. What happened to players number 1 and 2? Well, nobody knows. It was apparently made by somebody called Dev Game Wizard. Published 4 days ago. Average session, a few minutes. I like it when a game's duration is measured in ones of minutes. Are we ready for this? This will be the one that does me in, I can just tell. Is this the first time you ran this file? Yes. Oh. Something's happening. Something has happened. And I don't know how we're going to record it because it's chewing up my entire computer now. How can I sort this? Okay. Oh, and it's crashed. Chat here. Hi. There's something happening. Hang on. There's things happening here that aren't being captured. I need to find a way to capture them. Hang on. Glitchy 2. Nope. Right. Okay, excellent. I can't believe the efforts I'm going to capture it. What's going on here? There's another window which looks like this. So I don't really know what's happening here. I gotta take a drink of alcohol. Chat here. Instructions say, yup, that pretty strange ... Go ahead. The game's locked up again. What happened? It's called Net Split. Does this come with VR? Doesn't have any music either, which is unfortunate. Server sats. Number equals 3. Up equals 6. But you do not add them together. What is the code? What is the code? Quick. 3 9 6. That doesn't have a number. 6 9 3. Why is there a slash at the beginning? What number is that? Oh, the game closed down. I'm a bit bewildered by what's just happened. To be completely honest, I really don't know. I went to all that bother of setting up. I think we've got to try it again, right? We've got to try it again. Is this the first time you ran? I've ran before, mate. No. Okay. I can't believe this. This is so strange. How do you play this game? Apparently you play this game by not playing it, because if you touch it, it dies. I found. For me, the controls were the arrow keys. ... What is wrong with you? I don't want to know. F only supports US keyboard. That might be the problem. See, I don't have a US keyboard because I'm not US. I'm not us. I'm UCK. I got UCK keyboard. An UCK keyboard may not have the right numbers on it. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to look in the code that's been conveniently provided with the game. And then we're going to type in $25. Okay, it didn't work. I don't know why it didn't work, but it didn't work. No, I don't think any of those things are the right answers. To be honest, I don't think any of those things that you provided are the right answers. I don't think yous are even on the same planet as this video game. You don't get the depth of this game. I don't think any of those things are the answers, but I don't know why. I don't know why the thing that we put in wasn't the answer. Maybe it was the answer. Do you know what? Actually, I think it was the answer, and hang on. Let me just quickly try this. What's it called? No, let's get rid of that. That's the wrong thing. Oh, fuck's sake. God, I can't believe this fucking game. I feel like I'm gonna go mad playing this bloody thing. No, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's gonna be the answer at all. I think we got the answer right. No. Not that it makes any difference. Oh, do you know what? Yeah, I'm bored of this game. I genuinely can't be bothered with this anymore. I'm sorry. I can't. This isn't working for me. This isn't working for me, guys. I'm gonna find something else to play. Stressing me out trying to get this to work. Oh my god, what a fucking experience! What an experience. I'm gonna press on. Let's have a quick look at what people said about a glitchy game. I'm disappointed that we didn't even see that many glitches, to be honest. Right, okay. Glitchy game. The screenshot was accurate. Okay. What did people say about this game? Devlog. Secret codes. Apparently there were secret codes. Puzzles and puzzle answers. Apparently the answer was 960. Yeah, okay, right. Let's play something else. I don't want to dwell on this game any longer. It's already irritating. Well, not. Maybe the idea of it is wholesome. I can't really be bothered with it though. This is perhaps the game to be playing not on a stream, since most games don't involve turtle and command line and Linux. You know, when a game involves Linux, that it's going to be a dry old time. Let's go. Five Nights at Happy Mouse. Apfla version. Bless you. Oh, this looks excellent. This is going to be the game of the evening. Skrasinie. Gesundheit. Okay, right, let's get it downloaded first. Scary Game Studios. It's a good name. It's a good name for a game. 2D alpha. Okay, right, excellent. Let's get it downloaded. Reference to popular horror series. Yep. That is indeed true. Oh, good. Oh, good. It's a fucking Click Team Studio game. Those are known for their high quality. What if it's got sound? Oh, it may do. It fucking may do. What's it called? Five Nights Mouse. We'll just write Happy Mouse. I'll know what that means. Happy Mouse. Oh god, and it is a happy mouse as well. Jesus. He's so happy looking. Look at him there. The happiest fucking mouse who ever lived. Happier even than Mario. My dad overheard the stream and asked if it was the Russian DIY guy. Hi, Dad. Is it alright if I call your dad Dad? Do you mind if I call... that might be a bit weird, actually. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Let's read about Five Nights at Happy Mouse. Apfla version. Apfla. Well, obviously we can't read the top bit of text, so we're just going to have to assume that the conveniently placed bottom bit of text is a translation of the top bit of text. It may not be, I don't know. The dad already left with the dog. Oh. Bye, Dad. Bye, dog. The dad. You are an ordinary guy who wanted to find work because you are aground for the money. What does that mean? Is that like a Russian phrase? So he finds a newspaper that says that they'll pay not so much, but they need to work. He got a promising job, but was it worth it? Find out. The game is still in the alpha test, so there's only one night. The game is in development. Soon you will see it in full. Right. Okay. Happy Mouse. I hope we're going to be happy playing it. Looks a bit like this. It says new game, continue game 1. I don't know why it has a 1 after it. There's an extras thing. Apparently we can't click on that. I'm going to have some alcohol. I feel like I need to de-stress after that fucking Python game. Gordon Bennett, that was stressful. I don't know why it was stressful. Maybe that's the horror element of it. That running random Python scripts downloaded from itch.io is just naturally a tense moment. Looking at a glitchy mouse face that keeps having blood over it, that's a tense moment. But not as tense as Python. Let's go. Bulbous. Is that a 6? How do you pronounce a 6? Bubble. 500. 12. 6. Niet. 2,000. 100. 12. Happy Pizza. Tack. Yuto. I know these aren't. I know none of these letters are pronounced like that. I know that. I know that. It's for comedy. Just play along. Just laugh along. Just be like, ha! That crazy old fudge. Doesn't he know the humor? Doesn't he know it? It says Happy Pizza. Let's go. Happy. First night. I wasn't expecting that. How do we play this game? What's this? How do we play this game? Can we like look at different cameras? Oh look, we can. Look, here we go. Oh look, it is literally like the Five Nights at the Freddy's. I can hear him moving. I'm not very good at the Five Nights at Freddy's. That should be added. Well, there we go. That's what happens at Happy Mouse Pizza. What did they serve at Happy Mouse? I didn't get that. I slept through the whole stream. Yeah, well, it's been a weird one, Kamijo. I don't blame you. Okay, right. This is the loudest cum shot in the world, tone pitched. Yeah, I thought it sounded familiar. Alright, let's turn the game down just a smidge. Oops. Let's whack the microphone. Just a teeny little bit of whacking the microphone. Right, this time we're gonna get him. I don't even know how many mice are we meant to be watching. Right. How many mice are there? How do we get into our room anyway? The map's so complicated. I like how the music loops like that. I think we got another shot to drink. I think that's fair. Why is the 6 red? I'm gonna take it. Oh. Let's just do this. I don't know. I don't know if this game actually has what you might call games in it. I get the feeling that we are doomed to be eaten by the cheesy mouse. Do you know what? We're gonna, in the interest of trying to keep the pace of the stream up, because I get the feeling this game is just going to be like jump scare. That seemed to happen at like the same time anyway. So I get the feeling this game's rigged. So it's not. We have a shot to drink. Hooray! Hooray! Reference to a popular horror/mystery series. Let's do it. Let's do it, my lovelies. Mickey Mouse. That is a good popping sound, wasn't it? A corker. Good corkins. It's the only redeeming feature of this Palm Violet gin. Is the sound. I'm gonna drink. Wait, I'm doing it. 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 Yeah. Ah. Ah. I did it. I did it. Drunk it. 5 Nights at fucking Happy fucking Mouse. Fucking Sucker Blade Mouse. 2D alpha test. Horror pixel art scary test. Scary Game Studios have also brought to you 5 Nights at Happy Mouse. Okay, that's their only production. Happy Game Mouse. Well done, Happy Mouse. Well done to you. Well done to everyone involved in the happiest of mice. Let's get another game in the barrel. Quickly now. The Light Bulb Man. Visual novel. Oh, God. I thought maybe we could get through a stream without having to play some visual fucking novels, but here we go. Should only take about a half hour. Are you kidding? A half hour? How long do you think I've got on this planet? 1/2 of an hour. God, fuck, Christ. There's a dungeon inside your TV. That game looks awful. Right, okay, good. Let's get this game downloaded. Dungeons and Deadlines. Now that is a witty video game title. Thumbs up your ass. Right. It's Renpai. That means we can put on the flippin' text-to-speech thing and everyone will have a great time. No. It's kind of loud. Okay. Feels like it's been a while since we played a Renpai game. Oh yeah, but we'll need to do it the old-fashioned way. As a question I asked now, in my innocence before we started playing the game, I wonder why it's called the Light Bulb Man. Do you wonder why it's called the Light Bulb Man? We are gonna fucking wonder in a minute. Trust me. You're gonna be wondering about a lot of things. Isn't this soothing? This is to put Camigio to bed. Sleep well, Camigio. The soothing music will guide you into bed. Sleep tight. You've earned it. You've earned a good rest. You've earned a really good rest. Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams to you, Camigio. A brief tale of a little girl and her journey towards a new life. All things done by Emily Northwood, with the exception of sound effects found on Freesound. Should only take about a fucking half hour. Advisory. Contains story elements that are not excessive, but might make some people uncomfortable. For Cupcake, she may have better luck next time. Atmospheric, dark, fantasy, horror, romance, short. Oh, short. Oh, short. Half an hour read time. Fucking fall asleep, mate. Lightbulb Man. Lightbulb Man looks a bit like this. Now the key thing is, can we turn on the text to speech? I don't know. Okay, here we have some things to read. Written and programmed by Inanon Azio. Drawings and sounds with some help from Freesound. For Cupcake. Yeah, let's go. Cupcake. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Alice, and she lived with her teddy bear in a cave in the forest. They didn't have much in terms of possessions: a bookshelf, a mattress, and a tea set, among other things. Every morning, Alice would go out and find food for her and Mr. Bear, and every evening, Alice would light the candle and she would have a tea party and play a game with Mr. Bear before going to bed. This routine repeated daily in and day out, and it had repeated ever since Alice could remember. This isn't to say their living conditions were altogether poor. In fact, Alice and Mr. Bear often had plenty of fun times in their rather unusual circumstances. Of course, it wasn't necessarily all fun times. In the summer, it was often too hot, and in the winter, it was often too cold. There weren't many toys beside Mr. Bear that Alice could play with, and she had already read most of the books on her bookshelf. Even with the company of Mr. Bear, she often longed for the company of other people, for the company of other girls and boys that she could play with. Nevertheless, she felt that as long as she had Mr. Bear with her, she could stand anything. I'm gonna turn the music down just a smidge. It's still quite loud. Okay, here we go. Here he is, Mr. Bear. Wow. Taking bear making cues from that bear in that other game. One night, as Alice lit the candle to prepare for her nightly tea party, she was feeling particularly lonesome. Even her lucky discovery of a tin full of cookies couldn't entirely cheer her up. She was longing to explore the world outside the forest, and she was longing to find someone new to be friends with. She set the plates for herself and Mr. Bear, and she poured lukewarm tea for two. She then unveiled her... I thought I was going to say something else just then. The catch of the day. The cookies. Taking them out of her bag and showing them to her companion. I hope they're not too stale, worried Alice as she opened the tin and took out a cookie. She examined it for a bit, turning it around in her fingers before handing it to Mr. Bear to eat. It chewed on the cookie for a bit, but, as it was a teddy bear, it couldn't swallow. It's almost times like that I wish I had a face cam, like so I could just express wordlessly my reaction to the statement that just emerged from my mouth, actually. Instead, chewed cookie mush dribbled from the corners of its mouth, and it made a general mess of its fur. Alice looked at Mr. Bear with displeasure, and any interest she might have had before now fully faded away. She picked up her handkerchief and cleaned up Mr. Bear's mess. Setting the handkerchief down, she stared vacantly and sighed. "Oh, Mr. Bear," said Alice wistfully. "How I wish we could find someone else to play with. I love you, Mr. Bear, but it would be so much. Well, it would be so more. I can't even read it properly. But it'd be much more fun if we had more friends around. We wouldn't have these tea parties all by ourselves. It'd be merrier with 3 or even 4. Wouldn't it be nice to have more friends around, Mr. Bear?" With this last question, Alice picked up a cookie for herself and put it in her mouth, as the teddy bear stared blankly. She swallowed with a strong gulp and smiled sadly as she looked at her inanimate friend. "Well, I guess as long as I have you, Mr. Bear, it doesn't matter," concluded Alice, and they resumed their tea party. After the tea party, she and Mr. Bear played some cards. Alice, as she has obviously played the teddy bear's moves for it, had the upper hand, but she still found the game to be boring. More than the roughness of her condition, the overall monotony of her life was what depressed her the most. She thought about how fun it would be if there were extra people to play cards with, extra human beings that she wouldn't have to play the hands for. I don't know, Alice, I've played Magic the Gathering before, And the thing is, I don't understand how any of it works. So I got someone else to play it for me. Besides, I'm not a fucking nerd, so I don't play games like that. I outsource it. I get someone else to play it for me, and then they won. That's how you do it. That's how the fucking professional gamers do it. They just outsource it. As it was, when it came down to it, no matter how much of a calming presence her teddy bear was, she was essentially playing against herself. Careful choice of words there. Oh. Realising this fact made Alice feel even lonelier before, and as she decided to end her game of cards, even though the two of them were nowhere near finishing the game. Setting her cards down, she picked up Mr. Bear and held it tightly. "I love you, Mr. Bear," she said to her only friend, who was being rubbed against her cheek. "But I need more friends besides you. It's so lonesome in this cave. I get so dreadfully tired living here with only you. I just need to find one more friend. That's all I really need." Holding the teddy bear close to her. I can, yes. I can indeed. What happened there? What happened there? The dialogue seems to have missed a bit. Oh, okay, right. Well, okay, we'll press on anyway. Right, we'll press on. This is going way too fast for me. Yeah, we're gonna stretch this half an hour reading time out to probably about 4 hours at this rate. Holding the teddy bear close to her, she noticed that her teddy bear had a small tear in its stomach. Noticing this, she immediately put it down and went about looking for her sewing kit. Occasionally, the teddy bear would develop such an opening in it, perhaps from being jostled around too much by its sole human companion, and Alice would have to patch it back up again. She had to do it only a few times in the past, but she was still worried about the longevity of her teddy bear. Opening the kit, she noted how small her ball of string had become over time, and she fretted about her ability to continue patching up Mr. Bear in the future. I like how there's little drawings. Needle and string in hand, she picked up Mr. Bear to begin her operation. Doing so, she noticed a bit of stuffing sticking out from its tear. As this was a somewhat self-contained sphere of cotton, she decided to pick it out of Mr. Bear to inspect it. She looked it over, turning it around in her fingers. It was easily squished between her thumb and index finger. At the same time, it was surprisingly firm, and the cotton felt coarse rather than soft, perhaps due to its weathering with age. It felt very strange for her to be handling this ball of fuzz. Considering she was effectively playing with the organs of her friend between her fingers. There's so much about the way this could go, but it doesn't. It's just like sort of brinksmanship. This made her think about how fragile Mr. Bear really was, and a thought more terrifying than never finding friends came to her, that she would eventually lose the only friend she had now. Even more than finding a new friend, losing Mr. Bear would devastate Alice to no end, and she hoped she would forever be able to fix him if he got hurt. Sewing Mr. Bear back up was a simple task. The scar was only about an inch long, and there were no other pieces of patchwork which it ran into. Despite this successful operation, Alice continued to feel melancholy as she placed the needle and the ball of string back in their tin. She picked up Mr. Bear again and held it tightly as before. "I'll never let you go, Mr. Bear," said Alice to her only friend. "I promise." And with that, Alice's eyes began to water. However, she tried her best to steel herself and not give in to the tears. After all, there wasn't much point in crying about something that hadn't happened yet. Alice wiped away her tears, and she picked up the cards she had just put down once more. When are we going to get to the bit with the light bulb man? This worries me about how quickly we're going through this. Later that evening, after Alice had already tucked herself and Mr. Bear into bed, a strange light appeared above the forest. I'll leave it as an option for the chat. Would you like to hear me read this out, or would you like me to sort of speed through it? And can we see what the punchline is? At some point before my voice dies and I get drunk and everything else happens. Yeah, it's supposed to be horror. Allegedly. While you are thinking over that, arguing over that hopefully. Oops, I pressed the space bar by mistake, I'm sorry. Speed. What about popping bottles? Speed read through it. No, I'm not doing that. That'd be awful. I don't know why I'm drinking more of this Palm of Violet gin. I can't speed read. I can barely read English normally. Never mind trying to rush through it. About every second word will be wrong. Keep reading, I won't bother reading it. Well, that's what I thought. So I could summarize it as I go, but... It was no ordinary night. Not a star, not a meteor, not even a comet. It's a... It's a light bulb, man. It's a man. It's a very strange man indeed. I shouldn't. From the neck down, by all appearances, he was a normal man. A normal shirt, a normal pair of pants, and a normal pair of shoes, with a normal pair of socks. However, where one would usually find a normal head, there was instead a gigantic light bulb which shone a bright yellow incandescent hue. It made one wonder just how this man with a light bulb for a head could keep on living, as there appeared to be no way for his being to eat or breathe. Nor did there appear to be a brain within the glass sphere that was his head. However, living it was, and it shone for all to see. The odd being was descending into the forest in which the cave where Alice resided. It soon made its way through several layers of branches and it softly landed on the ground. It made its way through the trees, using the light that he himself emitted to guide him. He appeared to be looking for something, but for what, no one could say. He soon came across the cave where Alice and Mr. Bear were sleeping. As Alice was a light sleeper, the rustling which the light bulb man made at the mouth of the cave roused her from her slumber. Worried that a wolf or fox was about to enter, she woke up Mr. Bear as well, and they walked to the cave opening to investigate. It's actually Nico from the one-shot. You don't need to be scared. However, instead of finding a vicious animal, they found a vicious light bulb man, gazing as intently as a man without eyes can gaze at Alice, holding her teddy bear. Alice gazed back just as intently as the light bulb man, as any rational human would immediately assume upon seeing such a strange being. She figured that she must still be dreaming. After several painful pinches of her cheek, saying "You mean Nicky hen," she finally came to accept that this must be real life, not some kind of fantasy. No escape from the cave. Notwithstanding some potential mental degradation for being alone in the woods for so long, since she figured the best way to figure out what this thing was exactly was to ask, she inquired, "What are you? What do you want from me?" The light bulb man was not able to respond in a manner that Alice could understand. Instead, he flickered a response that would seem like Morse code to the untrained eye, but it was in fact his own peculiar language. Puzzled at this response, Alice said, "What a strange person you are! With the body of a man, you're a light bulb for a head. I can't believe you truly are a being which exists in this world. Maybe I am going mad from the loneliness out here." Oh, Jesus. However, before Alice could continue questioning her own sanity, the light bulb man held out his hand for Alice to hold. She looked at the hand somewhat suspiciously and wondered whether or not she could take it. "Do you wish to take me somewhere?" The light bulb man flickered briefly and he nodded. Alice paused to think for a moment and then she resumed her questioning. "Does this place have a lot of friends for me?" The light bulb man flickered and nodded again. Pausing one last time, she resumed with one final question. "If I go with you, can I bring Mr. Bear along as well?" The light bulb flickered and nodded one last time. As Alice was satisfied with his answers, she held out her hand and placed it in the outreached hand of the light bulb man. I like that sound effect. It was nice. As soon as this contact was made, the light bulb man floated up in the air, lifting Alice and Mr. Bear up with him. Already having to deal with the existence of a man with a light bulb for a head, the sudden turn of events frightened Alice even further. She clung tighter to the light bulb man as they ascended, making absolutely sure that she wouldn't drop Mr. Bear to its unfortunate demise. I don't think teddy bears suffer from fall damage, actually, but this would be an interesting experiment. The wind rushed past the three of them as they rose into the cold night sky. Alice shivered from the fright and the cold, but she kept holding on no matter what. Alice knew regardless of where it would be, wherever the light bulb man was taking her, it would be a better place for her and Mr. Bear to be, for they would have friends and new adventures and an easier life than the one they had back in that dismal cave. Nevertheless, Alice made the poor decision of looking down as window, which terrified Alice in the window, so she shut her eyes as tightly as possible as not to have to look down again. When she finally opened her eyes, what she saw amazed her perhaps more than anything she had experienced up to that point. First of all, it was daytime all of a sudden. Alice wondered if she had fainted from the fright and simply missed several hours while in the arms of the light bulb man, yet it was still too tense to be a possibility. Even more mysterious, however, was in front of her and the light bulb man. It was a massive city, floating above the clouds, an island in the sky. All sorts of towers, massive mansions greeted them as they rose to a dock in which when they landed. Finally able to walk rather than be carried, Alice ran up towards this magical place where the light bulb man took her and looked all around her. "This is simply amazing, Mr. Lightbulb!" Did he introduce himself as Mr. Lightbulb? Exclaimed Alice, eyeing her alien surroundings. "Is this where you live?" A flicker and a nod. Alice couldn't ask any further questions, for her awe had overtaken her. The two of them walked side by side, with Alice carrying Mr. Bear in her arms. When they entered the city, Alice saw many people just like the lightbulb man, people with light bulbs for heads, living their daily life, shopping, working, chatting, eating, or just simply taking a stroll. Having lived in the woods her whole life, Alice had never seen so many people in one place before, and she was amazed by the vast crowds of people which she saw around her, each one of them living their own lives in one gigantic place. Alice was glad the lightbulb man took her and Mr. Bear to such a beautiful place. She said, "This is such a wonderful place that you live in, Mr. Lightbulb. Is this whole place like this?" However, in response, the light bulb man let loose a low buzz, which couldn't be construed as anything but sad, and his head hung low for a bit. Before Alice could ask about the sudden change in demeanour, he quickened his pace towards another part of the town, dragging Alice and Mr. Bear behind him. Soon enough, they were in another part of the light bulb room, which had a significantly more destitute atmosphere than the neighbourhood they were just in. Compared with the bright brick buildings behind them, they were confronted with dilapidated, dark brown wooden buildings, and compared with the bright people in bright clothes they saw previously, there was nothing but a dull glow here. None of the people they came across had any of the brightness of anybody they'd met in the blocks behind them, and they were all dressed in rags and muck. A man in a wrinkled jacket eyed the three of them suspiciously as he hurried past, and what appeared to be a mother cradling a child in her arms, sitting on the sidewalk, stared at them longingly without saying a word. "Oh, how terrible!" said Alice, her heart broken by the dismal sight of poverty around her. "What could have caused such a horrible situation for these poor souls?" Lightbulb man attempted to tell her the cause, but as Alice did not yet understand the lightbulb language, she could not understand what he was trying to say. Therefore, the lightbulb man decided to tell him the simplest way he knew how. Pointing towards the prosperous blocks they came from, he shone as brightly as he could. Now pointing to the ground he was standing upon, he weakened his light to a point where the difference between him and an unlit bulb was nearly imperceptible. After thinking it over for a second, Alice responded, "So you're saying that the people don't receive enough energy compared to the people in the other neighbourhood?" A flicker and a nod. Alice frowned because she felt this situation was unfair to the people who were living in the neighbourhood they were in now. "I sure hope there's some good people out there who are trying their best to help these people," wished Alice. With this, the lightbulb man pointed at himself, and Alice's eyes brightened. "Oh, you're such a good person for wanting to help these people, Mr. Lightbulb. I'm so glad I made friends with you." You're clingy, Alice. I guess you've had no friends for a while. Makes sense. With this outburst, she furiously hugged a lightbulb man, who was taken off guard by this sudden action, but he soon enough returned the hug. Walking further along, they came across a very square grey building. It was clear that this building was kept in high maintenance, for this was not the grey of dust, but rather a shiny grey, an antiseptic grey, the sort of grey that becomes suffocating with exposure, regardless of the appearance of such an expansive clinical grey. Alice was amazed yet again, as the building didn't look like either of the brick buildings in this prosperous neighbourhood or the wooden buildings in this impoverished neighbourhood. The lightbulb man opened the door in front of her, and she and Mr. Bear walked in. I know what the horror is. She's going to get turned into a lightbulb person. They're going to rip her head off and replace it with a lightbulb. Compared with its quite boring appearance on the outside, the building's interior was a height of opulence. The floors were elegantly carpeted, the walls were covered in gold from top to bottom, and from the high ceiling hung several gorgeous chandeliers, with many glowing candles in each of them. It was easily the most beautiful sight Alice had ever seen in her life, on a journey each sight had amazed her more than the last. "Oh, Mr. Bear, isn't this such a wonderful place?" Alice exclaimed. The teddy bear understandably did not respond, but Alice hugged it tighter anyway, as if the bear had stated its own wonder at the place they were now witnessing. The lightbulb man led Alice to a table where several others of his kind were sitting. There were several small plates and teacups around the table, and there were various foods and drinks set in the centre. "Are you inviting me to a tea party, Mr. Lightbulb?" asked Alice, a flicker and a nod. Alice cheerfully sat down in the chair the lightbulb man had pulled out for her. The lightbulb man sat down next to her. One of the lightbulb people poured tea for Alice, and having done so, gave her a cookie as well. Alice picked up the cookie, and she noticed it was one of the higher quality cookies she had found only a few hours prior. She took a bite of it, and her senses were overwhelmed by its doughy sweetness. She couldn't help but gobble the rest down as quickly as she could. Next, she couldn't help but stare at the lemon meringue pie sitting in the centre of the table. Seeing that she was eyeing the pie, the server cut her a slice. Man, that's a good server. My server just crashes. And delicately placed it on her plate. Alice had never seen a lemon meringue pie before, let alone tasted one, so when she shoveled a forkful of pie into her mouth, she was amazed by how something so simultaneously could be so sour, yet so sweet. "Oh my, everything is so delicious, Mr. Bear," proclaimed Alice, her beloved bear, who unfortunately only had limited capabilities of understanding the deliciousness at hand. Finally sipping her tea for the first time, which was of a similarly higher quality than she was used to, she looked around at her surroundings. She never knew that such extravagance could exist in the world she lived in, and she hoped she could stay in this place forever. For the first time in her life, she could truly say she was content. Around her, the lightbulb people were flickering to each other, having a conversation with Alice, who was unable to understand. She thought to herself that she would eventually have to learn her language somehow if she was to stay here. She was consoled by the fact these people seemed at least to understand her own language. Nevertheless, in her current state, she was unable to have a fulfilling conversation with any of them, even with the original lightbulb man who had brought her to this place. However, she still had Mr. Bear with her, and Mr. Bear had always understood her. Therefore, to keep herself company while the lightbulb people talked amongst themselves, she talked away with her teddy bear for a bit. "Isn't this place wonderful, Mr. Bear?" said Alice to her teddy bear. "So much of it is so beautiful. Even more beautiful than any place I've ever dreamed of. It's so colourful, and it's all so lively here. I've never seen so many people in one place. I hope I get to meet and talk with each and every one of them. That is, I will once I learn their language." Then a sad look came across her face. She said, "Oh, I guess now I had to think about it. This whole place isn't entirely so colourful. There were those poor folks in those rundown buildings, that neighbourhood where everything looked so sad. I felt sorry for them, Mr. Bear. I was like that only yesterday, with barely any clothes on my back and barely any light in my heart." Or your head. Here, she briefly paused as she let out a sorrowful sigh. However, she continued on with renewed cheer. "But at least we have our new friend, Mr. Lightbulb, here to help them. He seems like such a nice person, and together us three can help those poor people be as colourful, as bright as the rest of us." With her spirits back up, Alice continued her monologue to Mr. Bear, and she resumed eating her pie and tea. As the tea party went on, Alice began to feel very tired. She realised that she didn't get a full night's rest earlier as the lightbulb man woke her up in the middle of her slumber. However, how the fuck ever, despite her energy previously, she was suddenly very slovenly and could barely lift her hands to grasp her teacup. "Oh my, I guess we've had too much fun today, Mr. Bear," slurred Alex as she attempted to raise her teacup to her lips. Unfortunately, her fingers weakened by her tired state. The cup slipped from her hand and splattered down her dress before shattering into pieces on the ground. Oh. This actually caught the attention of the lightbulb people, who were now all staring intently at Alice's strange behaviour. Alice could not focus back at them, as her vision was all blurry, and the fuzz in her brain multiplied, and prevented her from reconnecting to reality. Soon enough, Alice's eyes shut off on their own accord, and her body collapsed into an unconscious heap on the ground. "The tea was spiked, Alice. The tea was spiked." I thought there was going to be this. I guess there's no decisions in this game. I guess it's just light bulbs. After what felt like hours, Alice drowsily opened her eyes again. Her vision was fuzzy and she could barely tell where she was. However, as far as she could tell, she was in an entirely different room than before. The walls were an ugly pale colour. The door was an unsightly wooden brown, and the closest thing you could call a decoration in the room were the blaring fluorescent lights in the ceiling. Fuzzily remembering her actions at the tea party, Alice wondered why a host would take her to such a place. Looking down at where she was sitting, Alice's heart suddenly was struck with horror. Sticking out from her arms were thick metal tubes which extended towards the wall behind her. Similar wires came out from her legs, and she could feel the ends of them prickling from her back. She tried to turn and see where these tubes went, but she was prevented by another thick cable, even bigger than the rest, which extended from the back of her head. Terrified by the situation she was in, she frantically tried to pick up her arms in order to remove this cable from her head. However, both her arms and legs were tightly strapped to the wooden chair in which she was sitting. Throughout all of this, Alice was worrying more and more about why and how she was brought here and put in such a state. At first she thought some sort of attack must have befallen the place she was at, and that she must have been kidnapped while she was unconscious and everyone was distracted. An anxiety formed in Alice's mind that the realm of the Lightbulb people was being held under siege, and that she was being held as some sort of hostage. However, as she thought more and more about her current situation and how she got here, an even more uneasy thoughts surfaced in her head. What if the Lightbulb people themselves were the ones who put her here? Perhaps the poor neighbourhoods were fed up with the situation, and they rebelled against the more prosperous classes. Perhaps Alice, as a newcomer, just unfortunately got caught up in the crosshairs of this revolution. There's a lot of fucking words in this game. Even still, the most disturbing possibility that it was her own supposed friends who put her in this place kept peeking through the cracks in her mind, and her thoughts kept returning to this idea no matter how hard she tried to repress it. Despite all these worrying thoughts, the one that pressed her head most was her poor physical condition. She was incredibly hungry despite having eaten recently, or at least as far as she could remember, while her throat also felt dry. Her skin felt like it was being pulled as taut as it could be, and she felt a general aching all around. She felt freezing cold, yet her fear was causing her to develop a severe sweat as well. The more she attempted to struggle, the more the areas with cables come out from her started to hurt, which caused her to become even more frantic and struggle further. Her breathing became choppy and she was being overtaken by an animalistic desire to escape. Just as she was about to yell for help, someone opened the door to the prison as if in anticipation of her yell. With this sudden presence, which was not her own, she slowly calmed herself down and her mind focused on trying to figure out who that was that came in. Upon recognizing who it was, her thoughts became even more confused. It was her own Mr. Lightbulb, the one who brought her to the Lightbulb realm in the first place, and he appeared the same as before she collapsed. She attempted to croak out a Mr. Lightbulb in recognition, but it hurt to talk and only came out as a pained whisper. The Lightbulb man slowly walked up to Alice as if to check up on her condition. As he neared, Alice became more and more subsumed in thoughts and questions. Finally, she built up another reserve of energy to speak and powerfully croaked, Mr. Lightbulb, what am I doing here? She knew that whatever his response was, she wouldn't be able to understand it, but she still wanted to know the answer. Nevertheless, he didn't seem to make any sort of response. He continued to check the machinery over to which Alice was connected, seemingly not hearing Alice's plea. Despite the coldness of the Lightbulb man, Alice kept repeating her pleas in the hopes that he would finally answer her question. Soon enough, when he had walked back in front of Alice, she attempted to ask the Lightbulb man her question again. However, the Lightbulb man immediately interrupted her, raising a finger in front as if to shush her. Then, to answer her question, he repeated his gesture from earlier. He pointed at the ground around him and gave off a warm glow, before pointing in the direction of the slums and gave off a significantly duller glow. Alice already understood that this meant there were people here in Lightbulb Realm who went as well as others. However, she didn't understand how she herself fit into all of this. But why do I have to be tied down like this? She asked, with more energy than before. When she asked this question, the Lightbulb man gave off the most tremendous glow he could muster. Alice found it difficult to look at, although she could only squint to protect her eyes, as all other means of avoiding the light were impossible in her condition. Giving off this intense shining glow, he pointed at Alice, and then he pointed out again, still maintaining his intensity. As he began to lower his brilliance, the pieces began to fit together in Alice's head. The realization flooded over her, but instead of sending her into a state of devastation as it probably should have, she developed only a weak sense of melancholy. So, I'm the one powering everyone in the Lightbulb Kingdom now? Alice whispered as her eyes downcast. The Lightbulb man nodded in response. She felt sad as she was cast into such a fate, yet she grew guilty for thinking this way, as she realized she was helping those poor neighborhoods she witnessed by doing so. She soon decided that as long as she was helping these people, she would accept whatever fate handed her, no matter how terrible her condition would make her feel. Once she reconciled these conflicted thoughts, she accepted her fate, if not entirely willingly. I guess that's fine by me, concluded Alice aloud, and seeing that he was no longer needed, the Lightbulb man started to walk towards the door. However, before he could exit, a sudden thought intruded into Alice's mind. She was so caught up on her own pain condition that she neglected to recognise one important fact. Mr. Bear was not with her! She became frantic again, and she attempted to look around for a missing teddy bear. However, there was no sign of it as far as she could tell. All the fear that she had before the Lightbulb man reappeared overwhelmed her again, and she began to worry about what could have possibly happened to her most treacherous teddy bear. Just as the light bulb man was opening the door, Alice let out a scream. A proper scream. Not weak and hoarse, but full-throated and devastating. "Where's my Mr. Bear?" Despite the sudden yelp from Alice, the light bulb man didn't appear startled. Instead, he turned back around, shut the door behind him, and walked back towards Alice. As he did so, Alice kept yelling, demanding to know where Teddy Bear was taken and whether or not it was safe. The light bulb man did not respond to any of her questions, but instead continued to stride towards her. Oh, Jesus. Alice's scream ceased immediately once the light bulb man grasped her cheeks and lowered his head so that it touched Alice's forehead. Just as quickly as she had worked herself up, Alice calmed down once again with the movement of the light bulb man. His head was not burning hot as a normal light bulb would be. Instead, it had the pleasant warmth of a blanket, like being held in a mother's arms. Alice never felt such a warmth before, as she had spent most of her life alone with Mr. Bear. Though she still desperately missed Mr. Bear, she still felt as she could be at least be comfortable with the light bulb man, even if she wasn't entirely sure about his intentions regarding her. "I'm sorry for acting up just now," apologised Alice, looking down at her feet even with the face of the light bulb man right in front of her. "I'm just worried about him, that's all." And with that, the light bulb man released his grasp, nodded mysteriously, and walked towards the door again. Alice watched silently as the light bulb man left the room, and she sat sadly in this room, which was her new home, calmly wondering what her life would be like from now on. Time passed by monotonously for Alice as she sat hooked up to the generator of the town. Every now and then the light bulb man would come in and give her food and water, which he would have to feed her with his own hands. He would check up on her wires, make sure they were still operated to their highest capabilities. Sometimes he would teach her words of his language. She never became fluent, but at least now she could somewhat gather what he was saying when he spoke in his native tongue. Do light bulbs have tongues? Of course, there wasn't much point in teaching her his language, as the two of them rarely ever spoke to each other during his time. He would come in, do whatever was needed to be done, then leave again. Despite being able to see Mr. Lightbulb every now and then, she never knew exactly how often, for there were no clocks, and the light in the room never turned off to signify time passing. This lack of any sort of warmth interaction between them made her lonelier and lonelier as time passed. And even if the Lightbulb man did meet to try a non-trivial conversation with her, she still didn't know how big of a role he had played in putting her in this position, so she couldn't even bring herself to trust Mr. Lightbulb anyway. However, it wasn't the growing distance between her and Mr. Lightbulb which bothered her the most, it was the absence of Mr. Bear. She knew that she had blacked out and that Mr. Bear had been taken away from her at some point during that time. Where was he taken? She couldn't for the life of her figure out what reason anybody would have for taking her bear away from her. Really, if the Lightbulb people truly understood her, they would have left the bear with her, which would have made her a little more willing to be hooked up to the city like this. Instead, she was left alone in this room, restrained and unable to do anything but move her eyes and think about life. It got so unbearably sad for her, sitting alone in this room with no one except the Lightbulb man, who came frequently but only rarely communicated with her. I wonder how many people are actually bearing with this. I'm bearing with it. I mean, what fucking prize do I get? I'm not going to get kissed by a light bulb, that's for sure. One particular rainy day, she decided to speak personally with her light bulb for once. "Please," she asked him, "where's my teddy bear? Where's Mr. Bear?" Mr. Lightbulb, however, did not immediately respond. He hung his head low, as if trying to figure out the answer. This upset Alice, who immediately assumed the worst. "Has he been hurt? Has he been thrown away? Has he been torn apart? Please, please tell me, Mr. Lightbulb. Please let me..." However, before she could finish, Mr. Lightbulb interrupted her. He gave a response, speaking in his own blinking Lightbulb language. Steady with the language here. Head still hung low. Although Alice couldn't catch the entire sentence, she could gather that even if Mr. Bear wasn't there, he was safe. This greatly relieved Alice. A massive weight lifted from her shoulders. Nevertheless, her biggest question was still left unanswered. "I'm glad he's okay, but where is he?" she asked in a camera tone. After another pause, Mr. Lightbulb repeated again that the bear was safe. He then continued by saying that he couldn't see where the bear was. Alice was too tired to continue this conversation. She became depressed again. "It's so lonely in here, Mr. Lightbulb," suddenly uttered Alice after a moment of silence. "I don't know what to do with myself anymore. I have no one to talk to. Mr. Bear's gone, and even if you wanted to talk to me, I could barely understand you. I can feel these wires sucking my energy away, and I feel less alive with each passing hour. I wish I had a friend I could really talk with. It might seem selfish, thinking about myself when what I'm doing is helping so many people, but I don't like where I am right now. I want to be happy again. I don't want to be here anymore." And with this final declaration, tears streamed slowly down her face for the first time in the longest while. Seeing Alice's sniffling form in front of her, Mr. Lightbulb stood calmly, pondering what to do. Then he walked up to Alice and placed his forehead on hers like that first day she was put here. But that warmth didn't envelop Alice like it once had. All there was the man she thought she could be friends with, but was still distant after all this time. After a few seconds of this, Alice, still crying, lifted her head without looking at the Lightbulb Man and whispered, "Please stop." Headbutt him. The Lightbulb Man lifted his head, looking confused. "Please don't touch me," continued Alice mournfully. "I don't want you here right now. Please leave me alone." With this, the Lightbulb Man slowly put his hands to his side, backed away and left the room. Alice was now completely alone. She'd been alone for quite some time now, but this was the first time the fact truly weighed down on her in its entirety. She continued to cry for some time until the crying tired her out and she fell asleep. Time passed, and Alice grew more and more exhausted. The Lightbulb Man continued giving her food every now and then, but less often than before. He no longer gave her any language lessons, and he never seemed to look at her directly. He simply came in, gave her food, checked her wire, and then left as soon as he came. Alice wasn't sure if he minded this or not, as if her feelings for Lightbulb Man had grown complicated over time. He wasn't someone she considered a friend, but on the other hand, at least he was someone. He brought his presence with him, and that alone made Alice feel a little less lonely, even if the presence wasn't most unpleasant for her. Physically, Alice was quickly deteriorating. Her skin was paling to a ghostly white, with splotches popping up all over her bodies. She had lost a lot of weight and her bones were peeking out. Clumps of hair had fallen out. She had become dirty due to a lack of any sort of regular cleaning, and her muscles had atrophied, considerably due to disuse. She could easily be taken for a corpse if one didn't see her unfocused eyes moving around. One day when the Lightbulb Man was bringing her food, she decided to tell him, "Mr. Lightbulb, I don't want food anymore." It barely came out as a whisper. She had no energy for anything more. Nevertheless, the sentence gave the Lightbulb Man a start, for Alice had not spoken to him in the longest time. However, he kept trying to feed her, even though she refused to accept his offerings. She repeated, "I don't want food anymore, Mr. Lightbulb. If it's energy you want, then I don't have that either. I just want to die here in peace." This admission of despair deeply troubled the Lightbulb Man, who put the food beside him on the ground and stared intently at Alice, listening with open ears. Do lightbulbs have ears? Alice continued, "You know, before you took me here, I was in this cave. I had lived there as long as I could remember. I lived there by myself, I guess I should say. I lived with Mr. Bear. I had no friends. I never met anybody, and anybody I happened to cross paths with simply ran away from me." I feel quite bad because I remember that game that I played with the gaze and the driving. I got really sick of reading that out. I'm getting a bit sick of reading this out. Don't get me wrong, I actually find something strangely enthralling about all this, but that might be just... Maybe I'm like Alice. I'm strapped into the machine. I can't look away from it. I am the Alice, and the computer is the Lightbulb Man. Or the wooden chair. Or the cables. I don't know. One of the above. Something like that. My voice is going to be fucked after this. She wants someone to be friends with. Then Lightbulb Man came along. It was like a dream come true. You were being a kind I'd never seen before. Taking me into a place unlike any I'd ever imagined outside of my dreams. It was beautiful, and the thoughts of a bright and happy future came to me. There were so many new people I could make friends with, so many new things I feel I could do. I would never get bored, I would never want to leave. What good those thoughts did me. You don't have to lie to me. I know you drugged me and wired me to this machine, even with the hopes of doing good by being here and of seeing Mr. Bear again. I'll never truly be happy here. It's just moving me from one cave to another, isn't it? I thought I finally found something new to pass the time with. All I got was more lempty openness. I don't care about these poor people anymore. I'm not even sure I care about seeing Mr. Bear again. I'm just so very, very tired, and I don't want to be here anymore, Mr. Lightbulb. Where's my Parma Violet gin? Okay. At the conclusion of Alice's speech, the Lightbulb Man raised his hand towards Alice and stroked her cheek. Alice did not recall his touch, but she did not feel comforted by it either. At least you're here, I guess, Alice continued. I don't even know if I consider you a friend or not. You're the reason I'm in this position in the first place, there's no doubt about that. But still, you're somebody. You're somebody who's sticking by me through these repetitive days. I guess I'm grateful for you a little bit, and if the circumstances were different, I'd be more willing to call you my... Uh-oh. Before she could finish, something caught her eye. Behind the ajar door to a room, she could see a bunch of people in lab coats. At every visit of the lightbulb's man, he'd always come alone. However, this was the first time he'd been accompanied by somebody. She was wondering why such a group of people were gathered around the entrance to the room. Why are there so many people outside the door there? Asked Alice. The lightbulb man just ignored her and continued to stroke her cheek. Suddenly, one of the scientists, a short and scrawny man, peeked out from behind the door, holding something in his hand. He was buzzing apparently, asking Mr. Lightbulb a question. Noticing he was there, maybe Mr. Lightbulb was Mr. Bear. Noticing he was there, a lightbulb man turned around and appeared to admonish the man for entering. Alice was trying to figure out what the scientist was holding in his hand. Although her tired eyes could barely focus on anything. She felt it was something she should be recognizing, but she couldn't tell what it was. It's the stuffing! She could tell it was small, it was white, and it had a somewhat indeterminate shape. It sort of reminded her of a cloud. As she was looking at the object, she reached through her memory, trying to figure out what it was, until suddenly at last it finally dawned on her. The object he was holding was... Scrotum. Mr. Bear? Whispered Alice. This caught the lightbulb man's attention and quickly turned back to her. You ripped apart Mr. Bear? Why? Why, Mr. Lightbulb? Why? I thought... She began to tense up, realizing that any hopes of seeing a teddy bear again were now completely dashed. You lied to me, you monster! She continued, her voice lacking energy but still seething in anger. You took him apart, and you blew it up! God damn you! And you lied to me. I don't like you, Mr. Lightbulb. And with this, her eyelids drooped and her head fell as far forward as it could. Her breathing ceased and all the tension in her body left just as quickly as it came. The lightbulb man reached to grab the girl's wrist to feel her pulse, but he knew he didn't need to. The girl was dead. The young scientist, carrying the cotton fuzz, still standing awkwardly by the door, asking if everything was all right. In response, the lightbulb man yelled at him before entering before he told him to. The young scientist apologized and he brought the rest of the science team into the room. It was a stroke of luck finding that teddy bear. Finding useful power sources was always a difficult chore for the lightbulb realm. The humans down below always ran out of energy eventually, and had to keep finding new ones to bring in at a far more frequent pace than was efficient. However, when the latest girl was taken up, she was carrying that teddy bear along with her, obsessed with finding a breakthrough. The scientist took to analysing the bear, carefully cutting open the stitches that barely held together the poor thing. They did several experiments using the strange fluff they found inside the bear. Using just a tiny piece of the fluff and mixing it with various chemicals in the lab, they finally discovered an energy source that could last for significantly longer with less maintenance and less cost. Now, the well-to-do members of society finally had a way to power their neighbourhoods without having to worry about finding a new energy source for a significant amount of time. Still holding the innards of the teddy bear, the awkward scientist walked up to the lightbulb man and asked if he wanted to be the one to place the fuzz within the generator. The lightbulb man hesitated for a moment before grabbing the fuzz from the young scientist's hands and walking towards the back of the room. The other scientists were busy disconnecting the wires from the young girl's corpse, and he had to wait until they were done. Finally, all the wires had been removed and wrapped, and they carried the body away for cremation, like the others. And the lightbulb man proceeded to the machinery in the back of the room. He knelt down, and he looked within the massive ports that had just held the tubes, revealing layers upon layers of intricate wiring. He had been modifying these parts in order to hold the cotton fuzz for the past few weeks, and here they were now, staring back at him, waiting for that magic substance to be placed within them. However, instead of doing so, he hesitated for a moment, and he fell into a sort of meditative trance. A quick exclamation from one of his colleagues took him out of this stupor, asking him to put the cotton in there now, as they didn't have all day. The lightbulb man quickly complied, and the cotton was placed within the ports. The wires then crackled with electricity, and the machinery behind the wall whirled immediately back to life. The group of scientists then celebrated the success of their newfound energy source, and several of them high-fived each other on a job well done. The lightbulb man continued to looking at the cotton fuzz, a complex expression on his face. While the scientists behind him celebrated, the wealthy part of the town lit up once again after a brief blackout, and the people's lives returned to normal. They finally had an energy source which was sustainable, and the people didn't have to worry about future blackouts or using excess energy for a long time. By finding this source within the little girl's teddy bear, the scientists had finally ensured the livelihood of the important people of the light bulb realm. The scientists were glad, the townsfolk were glad, and everybody lived happily ever after. Mr. Bear didn't live happily ever after. It was all a dream. I guess it wasn't a dream. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. I'm a bit dry. Ran out of words. Yeah, there wasn't a game because there wasn't even any decisions to make. It was just the only decision you made was by playing the game. You doomed Mr. Bear and Alice to death. So well done us for murdering Alice and Mr. Bear. At the benefit of the light bulb people, I must say. Do you know what? I mean, there's a story, I suppose it was quite an interesting little story. Reading it out on a stream for what must have been about 40 minutes, that will be a matter for the universe to decide. I can't possibly comment on that because I have expended all of my action points on reading out The Light Bulb Man. Guys, I'm done in. I think you can probably excuse me for the evening. I'm gonna find something that isn't Parma Violet gin to drink, and wet my whistle, and re-wet my whistle, and then I might just buy a whole new whistle. If I was just sad about the girl, I was actually sad about the Light Bulb Man more than anything. Yeah. Do you know what? Stupid as it might sound, I don't understand why it says for cupcakes she may have better luck next time. I don't get that. It doesn't make sense. Maybe there was an Easter egg in there. Maybe we failed one of the decision points. Altogether, yeah, it was what it was. It wasn't really a visual novel, more it was just like a novel. But okay, right, kids, I'm done. That's it. I feel like this has been a bit of a disaster from start to finish. Fitting, somehow. I was sad about us having to sit through it. You're sad about you having to sit through it. You should try reading it, Argon. You should try fucking reading it, buddy. I'll give you some tips. I'll give you a tip or two. Do you know the light bulb man, the light bulb man, the fucking light bulb, fucking light fucking man? Do you know the light bulb man? There are no comments down below, Pure. This game has no comments on it. Just like I have no comments left. I'm out of comments. It says romance. Actually, hang on. It says romance on it. Atmospheric, dark, fantasy, horror, romance. Were we supposed to be falling in love with fucking Mr. fucking Light Bulb? Light Bulb cunt. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go sleep. I gotta do many things. It's been a pleasure streaming for you all. I have no idea if that was entertaining or not. I had a good time reading that out. And that's the important thing. That's the important thing at the end of the day. I had fun. Your enjoyment is tertiary to the whole experience. Have an excellent Thursday. Have an excellent weekend. I'm sure I'll speak to you all in the near future. Make sure and tune in next week if you enjoyed yourself. All 0 of you out there who probably did, if you've survived this long. Anyway, kids, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you on the next one.